We're bringing you urgent breaking developments out of the Middle East tonight, and what is happening now is something no military planner expected to be confronting this early in the conflict. The second wave has arrived. Iran is striking Tel Aviv again, and this time the scale is far larger, the damage more devastating, and the city is now facing destruction at a speed few analysts believed possible. Videos are pouring in from every direction, different neighborhoods, different streets, different rooftops, all revealing the same alarming reality. Fresh explosions tear through the night sky. Fires spreading next to fires already raging from the first wave. Thick columns of smoke rising so rapidly that parts of the skyline are disappearing behind a wall of dark clouds. Tel Aviv, a city of nearly 4 million people, is now absorbing another massive barrage of missiles before it has even begun to recover from the first attack. Emergency services are under extreme pressure. Sirens that began sounding last night have not stopped for a single moment. New alerts continue to appear, warning of fresh impacts in districts that were untouched just an hour ago. The sense of chaos is not coming from rumors or scattered reports. It is being documented by thousands of residents watching their city take hit after hit, with no sign that the assault is slowing. Tel Aviv is confronting the full reality of a second wave, and the consequences of this escalation are only beginning to unfold. What we are seeing tonight is not just a large missile attack. It is the failure of the defensive shield that was supposed to protect Israel's largest city. The two systems meant to stop these attacks, the Israeli Iron Dome and the American Patriot batteries, are not stopping the missiles. They are being penetrated. And we need to be very clear about this. This is not a normal case of too many missiles overwhelming the system. What is happening tonight is far more serious. One of the most advanced air defense networks ever deployed in a war zone is being broken through repeatedly. The Iron Dome, a system that built its reputation on intercepting rockets for years, is now struggling to keep up. But the more alarming problem is the Patriot PAC-3, the most advanced version of the American Patriot system. It was deployed in Israel specifically to stop high-level missile threats like this. Yet the videos now coming out of Tel Aviv show missiles getting through the defenses and hitting their targets again and again. And these impacts are not isolated. Missiles are striking across multiple neighborhoods, arriving from different directions, almost at the same time. That pattern tells us something critical. The defensive network is being pushed beyond its limits. After the first wave, the expectation was that the systems would adjust, recalibrate, and close the gaps. Instead, the second wave is breaking through again. The reality is becoming harder to deny. The defenses built to protect Tel Aviv are now struggling to stop the attack. This is a planned military operation. Iran has been preparing this kind of strategy for years. In any multi-wave attack, the purpose of the first wave is not only to strike, it is to study. Iran used the initial barrage to observe how Israel's defenses responded, which missiles were intercepted, which were not, which angles caused problems, which altitudes reduced the chances of a successful interception. They also watched how the Patriot and Iron Dome behaved when both systems were forced to track the same threats. Every piece of this information becomes data, and once the first wave ends, planners adjust. They refine trajectories, shift approach vectors, and concentrate firepower on the weaknesses they identified only hours earlier. That is exactly what we are seeing in the second wave. The missiles tonight are not following the same profiles as the first. They are arriving from directions that created difficulties earlier. They are using terminal phase behaviors that push Israeli defenses to the edge of their performance limits. The scale is bigger, but the more important detail is that it is more precise. This is not luck, this is military doctrine. For years, military analysts warned that if Iran ever carried out a true multi-wave strike, the second wave would be the most dangerous. Not because it would be bigger, but because it would be informed by everything learned in the first attack. Tonight, that warning is becoming reality. The missiles striking Tel Aviv now are not simply another barrage. They are the result of everything Iran learned from the first wave, and they are designed specifically to exploit the weaknesses it revealed. To understand why Israel's defenses are failing tonight, we must look directly at the type of missile Iran is using. The system responsible for most of the penetrations we are seeing is the Fattah, a hypersonic maneuvering missile that does not behave like the ballistic weapons Patriot batteries were designed to stop. This difference is not technical jargon. It is the heart of the problem unfolding in Tel Aviv. For years, Patriot systems have successfully intercepted missiles fired towards Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. But those missiles followed predictable arcs. They rose, curved, and descended in a pattern that radar could calculate. Once radar locked onto that trajectory, the interceptor only had to reach a known point in space at a known moment. This is what the system was built for. The Fattah does not follow those rules. It travels at speeds that can reach Mach 13, and more importantly, it can maneuver during its terminal phase, the final seconds before impact. This means the Patriot's fire control radar is forced to track a target moving faster than the system's ideal engagement envelope, while also predicting sudden, sharp changes in direction. When the target moves that fast, the intercept window, the tiny slice of time in which the interceptor must launch, fly, correct its course, and collide with the missile, shrinks to almost nothing. That is why the Patriot PAC-3, despite its advanced design, is struggling tonight. It was not engineered around the threat profile of a maneuvering hypersonic weapon. Under high-volume pressure, at extreme speeds, and across multiple approach angles, even the best technology reaches the edge of its capability. And tonight, Tel Aviv is watching what it looks like when a defense system reaches that edge. The missiles are not getting through by accident. They are getting through because they were built to defeat exactly the systems now trying and failing to stop them. There is another layer to tonight's failure, one that many analysts have warned about quietly for years. When Iron Dome and the Patriot system operate in the same airspace against the same stream of incoming missiles, they must coordinate every movement. Both systems need to track the same targets. Both must avoid launching interceptors that collide with each other. Both must prevent their guidance systems from interfering with one another. In calm conditions, this is difficult. In a high-volume attack, it becomes something else entirely. Iron Dome was designed for short-range rockets. Patriot was designed for high-end ballistic threats. Each system has its own radar, its own interceptors, its own decision-making software. When they are forced to overlap, under extreme pressure, with missiles coming from multiple directions, every calculation becomes exponentially more complicated. Tonight, that complexity is being pushed past its limits. As hypersonic missiles enter from different angles and altitudes, both systems must make split-second decisions. Which interceptor fires first? Which system takes priority on a shared target? How do they avoid accidental interference? These are decisions that require time that simply doesn't exist when a maneuvering warhead is approaching at extreme speed. Inside Israel's air defense command centers, the cognitive and computational load is immense. Operators are monitoring two major systems, tracking dozens of incoming threats and dealing with real-time reports of fires and damage across a city already under attack. Iran understands this burden. They knew that forcing two defense systems to work simultaneously under saturation would create internal friction as damaging as the missiles themselves. And tonight, that understanding is shaping the battlefield. The systems meant to support each other are instead struggling to keep pace with a threat designed to overwhelm every layer at once. The second wave striking Tel Aviv tonight is not only a military event, it is a political crisis that is unfolding in real time. When the first wave hit, officials in Washington tried to project calm. They acknowledged the strikes, emphasized ongoing operations, and reassured the public that American and Israeli forces were still in control. The message was carefully crafted to maintain confidence while avoiding panic. That message cannot survive tonight. A second wave, larger than the first, breaking through the same reinforced defenses, presents an image that no amount of political language can soften. The facts are visible to everyone. Tel Aviv is burning again, and the world is watching it happen through thousands of videos uploaded every minute. This directly challenges the promise made when the operation began. The White House insisted the mission would be precise, decisive, and safely managed. The expectation stated and implied was that Iran's ability to strike back would be quickly removed. Israel, according to those early briefings, would face limited risk. But the reality playing out on the ground is the opposite. Iran has delivered a second, more effective strike against a major American ally using missiles that U.S. technology cannot reliably stop. For political opponents, skeptical journalists, and foreign governments who doubted the operation from the beginning, tonight provides something powerful: evidence, not speculation, not warnings, evidence. And with midterm elections approaching, the timing could not be worse. American voters are not seeing images of a clean, controlled operation. They are seeing a city under attack, defenses failing, and promises falling apart. In Washington, this gap between expectation and reality is becoming the most dangerous battlefield of all. As images of the second wave continue to spread, a single question has become the most urgent in every military and intelligence office in Washington and Tel Aviv. How many Fattah missiles does Iran still have? 2 days ago, this would have been a theoretical topic for analysts. Tonight, it is the question that may determine whether this conflict escalates beyond anything either side expected. The United States and Israel entered this operation believing they could degrade Iran's strike capability faster than Iran could use it. That assumption shaped every strategic decision made in the opening hours. But the second wave is now testing that assumption in the harshest way possible. Iran's ability to launch a larger, more effective strike after absorbing massive hits to its command centers, air defenses, and critical infrastructure suggests something troubling. The missiles fired so far may represent only a fraction of Iran's actual inventory. Iranian military doctrine has always emphasized preserving high-value capabilities for later phases of conflict. The systems that survived the initial bombardment were not random survivals. Many were likely hidden, hardened, or deliberately held back for exactly this moment. If Iran still possesses the capacity for a third or even fourth wave of hypersonic attacks, the strategic balance changes completely. Israel would face the possibility of sustained bombardment that its current defenses cannot reliably stop. And the United States would confront a conflict far more complex than the one it prepared for. Tonight, the future of this war hinges on a number no one outside Iran currently knows. And until that answer becomes clear, every option before Washington and Tel Aviv carries risks that grow by the hour. But the question is not only how many missiles remain, it is also how quickly Iran can replace what it has already used. Production capacity, launch platform survivability, and the ability to disperse mobile systems under sustained surveillance all matter just as much as raw inventory numbers. If Iran can regenerate strike capability faster than it can be degraded, then this conflict shifts from a short, decisive exchange to a prolonged contest of endurance. In that scenario, air defense performance becomes only one variable in a larger equation, one that measures industrial resilience, strategic patience, and the willingness of each side to absorb continued risk. The second wave hitting Tel Aviv has pushed both Washington and Israel into a moment no one wanted to face this early in the conflict. Every pathway from here carries risk. Escalation means climbing further up a ladder where each step increases the chance of a confrontation that neither side can fully control. Iran has already shown it possesses capabilities that exceed intelligence assessments. No one can say what else it may be holding back. But de-escalation carries its own price. Any move toward a ceasefire now would take place under visible Iranian pressure, at a moment when Iran can claim its deterrent worked. This is a position no American administration or Israeli government wants to negotiate from, yet it is the position they now find themselves in. There is a phrase often used in military planning: no plan survives first contact with the enemy. Tonight, that phrase describes the reality unfolding across Tel Aviv. Air defenses built at enormous cost are struggling. The Fattah missile has changed the battlefield, and the second wave has shattered assumptions that guided the operation's early hours. What comes next? An off-ramp, an escalation, or a third wave remains unknown, and that uncertainty is the most dangerous element of all.